what could possibly go wrong?
Oh no!
Opening a PO box and just letting people send me anything.
Oh my! I have a question. Is it meowing?
Excuse me?
Is there sounds coming out of it?
I can't show this. Are you fucking kidding me? Babe, get this the fuck out of my house. I hope you guys like it. This is my new grandiose McMansion.
You guys do the remodel. Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
No, I bought this with all my YouTube money. My sound effects channel, got monetized. So
nice.
A rich bitch,
Congrats.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm going to come over right now. I'm going to play that piano.
Do you like my Steinway? This way. There it is.
I was going to ask you if you knew what the brand was.
How you know it's fake?
I know, like,
is
it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got this new lamp recently. It's really cool.
Not my arm disappearing in the frame.
But actually, did it get monetized or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
we're super close.
Okay.
Super close.
Just checking.
I feel so big right
just
now.
You wait. I will have my own real McMansion in no time. Just you wait.
Yep. Yeah, the sound mansion.
The sound mansion.
I'm going to tease right up front that we have a mystery box.
Oh yeah.
That's we're not going to
box.
We're going to open that later.
It's in my closet. I need to get it.
Okay. I mean, you don't
I'll get it later
in a second. Yeah. But I just want to say that up front that I said this would be like the year of the PO box, and it's happening.
Wow.
But I know what's in it, but I gave it to Ed. He's going to open it later.
All I'm saying is I'm a little worried. I saw your live stream the other day.
What?
I have my worries.
What? No, you didn't see anything. No,
what's all
no, nothing. Don't worry about what's in the box. It went. No, don't worry about it. If you weren't there, actually, well, it's honestly there's too much stream lore at this point. I've been streaming every single day for like 3 weeks straight.
All I'm saying is I was simping. It was great.
Yeah, you were, and you weren't the only one. You weren't the only one.
Oh my god, it was great.
No, but this
was funny.
The past few weeks has been wild, which is partly why it's been hard to record a podcast, because it's like my schedule's just been like streaming constantly with this new TikTok program, which actually this is the last week of it, so I think it'll finally calm down a little bit.
Gosh, what is the program?
It's like they call it like the live gaming club or something. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about it actually, because
okay,
you just get like banned for talking.
Like, yeah, I mean, like I think as long as I'm not giving details, like
right.
Maybe you can like reveal what it was like later.
Yeah. But I mean, I have been talking about it like publicly in stream that there's like a leaderboard and I'm competing against.
Right, I remember you saying that, so I'm like, oh shit.
Nice. But it's also just it's been a good exercise to just like, because I used to do streams and it would just take so much out of me, like go live for a few hours a couple times a week and you'd be like, oh wow,
yeah, that
took
would
a lot.
That would do it, just like sit down.
But the more I've done it, it's like, oh, this is
getting used to it.
This is kind of fun. I could get used to
get into a groove. Yeah.
And you switch it up, you play different stuff.
Do you ever go just like take a 2-hour shit like midstream, just like leave?
Put on a YouTube video. We'll do like an XQC style, like, hey guys, there's this really interesting video essay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Walk away. Yeah, just let the video play.
No,
it's my favorite. I love the empty seat streams.
Yeah,
but it's like it's been good.
Cher is the streamer. Yeah, those are good memes.
Yeah,
good memes. Good solid.
But streaming all the time definitely takes away from like being able to edit bigger videos and stuff. So I do want to do more of that. Right.
Oh, me too.
So
I got.
I mean, I've still managed to do like little short stuff. I still post like TikToks and things, but TikTok is like in a weird place right now because they're changing their monetization again.
Oh gosh, really?
The creativity beta is out of beta, and it's been launched as like the actual version 1.0.
Yeah,
and all the numbers have been tweaked.
Oh, really? Is it not paying as much?
Sorry, it's making me really emotional.
You're not just thinking about it.
It's a sore spot.
crying. Yeah.
Oh,
Again.
I don't know exactly what's happening, but the end result, yes, is like payouts seem less in general, which is like okay.
Fuck.
But they're trying to do other stuff like
Complicated.
they're trying to optimize like themselves as a search engine. So now
Oh,
they have
that's
these
the
features
word, huh?
where you can like
Yeah.
it's a mess.
It's always a user retention thing. Like when you see social media changing a monetization like program, it's always for user retention because what they're finding is users are leaving their platform and going to another one, and they have really good measuring for being able to tell that. Like people think that social media is like tracking their data. Oh, it's much worse than that. They're tracking your intent. Yeah. So like it's impressive stuff, but it's kind of dirty. So yeah, it's always what they're trying to do is they're always trying to get people just staying on the platform longer, even if it loses them some money because it's a long-term investment. So yeah, it's TikTok. I wonder if they're going to run into that more long-term than like YouTube when everyone was trying to get 500 subs way back in the day so they could get partnered with YouTube. And that was like a big deal.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I remember when the first time when YouTube changed that program, the partner program, and it became a little bit more like ambiguous how you become a partner. And ever since then, ever since YouTube left the 500 sub metric, it's always been confusing.
Do you remember the early days though? That's when it was like most confusing. Nobody knew what the minimum minimum requirements were for the partner program.
If you go back to like 08 and like before that. Yeah.
I remember in 2008 because I remember when I was 14, I was like, I'm obsessed with this. I'm gonna get in the freaking partner program. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And like, I kept asking around. I'm like, guys, do you know how many like views you need? How many subscribers? And everybody would be like, no. Everybody just guessed 1,000.
Is that like you got to know somebody then, or something like that?
Do you have to know somebody?
I'm wondering in that kind of scenario, does that just indicate that like the people who are partner, maybe it's like they just know somebody and like, because there's still like, there's a lot of that sort of like, oh, we don't really tell you how to achieve a certain like bar. And I'm like, then that just means you have to know somebody, which is really.
You used to have to write like a letter, basically, like a little essay for acceptance. I did that and it worked in 2009.
That's so funny.
I got my old what do you call it? Like artsy fartsy channel monetized back in
EJAS 99 or
no, it was my my old shitty YouTube channel.
The other one, right?
Alvin What Up Too. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh my God, Alvin What Up Too.
Where I used a fake name because I was scared people would find my identity when I was 14. I don't know why I chose that name. God, like it's
Alvin What Up. Yeah. That's the weird thing is like that does sound like a name that would like make it in today's name.
If you played a character, if you had a YouTube persona, I could see that being named Alvin.
You could do like a whole squirrel thing. I don't know. Kids would be into it.
I'm picturing chipmunks. I'm picturing chipmunks, high voices, covers of popular songs, something of that nature.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they're just chipmunks. Yeah.
I mean, what's the difference? They both like nuts.
Same difference. Still
they're not feeling. I'm all over the place. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
like names are. I've been watching a lot of. I watched this. I'm not bringing this up to talk about politics, but I did watch.
You dare? We're cutting the whole fucking thing.
Destiny, because he's always talking about politics. But I was watching this really long debate between like Norm Finkelstein or Finkelstein, people say it differently, and like Benny Morris and like Destiny was in the debate. I think 4 hour long.
He keeps changing his name
on Israel Palestine.
I think that's the one at least.
And they wouldn't stop saying his real name wrong.
Yeah.
So like Destiny's real name is like Stephen Bonnell.
Yeah.
And like Bonnell is like a super easy last name to say. Like Bonnell.
Like banal.
And probably the most like well-known, renowned person there, Norm Finkelstein, kept calling him Borelli. And then he would change it to Burrell. And then he would change it to like I think it was between those things. Like,
there's like, wasn't there like 6 or 7? Somebody made like a compilation.
Like
It was hilarious.
Bellini.
yeah. Like, and it was just all over.
Menzini. They get more
Bieber.
Italian as it goes.
I was actually bringing that up originally just to bring up like that guy has had this like Destiny has had the same screen name for like
years,
and he's just kind of kept it. And somehow he's like taken sort of seriously in like the debate community. He's taken very seriously in the internet commentary community. Like people know him.
Yeah.
Even in like the internet debate community, which is like a totally different.
Oh yeah.
No, I saw clips of
it's weird.
You know, I saw some of the like him and Jordan Peterson talking. Like he's talking to everybody.
Oh, I didn't
debating everybody.
Like, calling him Destiny.
I did not expect those universes to cross over.
Yeah,
no, that was interesting.
That's been.
Well, it's funny because like it is. I actually kind of like Jordan Peterson. He went a little crazy for a little while, but I do like him. I do generally like him.
He's just got Daily Wire syndrome. He'll get over it.
But he got really well known for like not calling people by their pronoun, right? And so
right,
but he does call Destiny by his screen name. So I'm like, what does that mean?
That's interesting.
What does that mean? I know they're different things, but it seems like there's a boundary that's you can get over that boundary if you just have the right respect for. I don't know. Maybe
I just love that all of Destiny's fans now call him by the wrong name constantly, just like all the time on purpose.
Is that just going to be
Mr. Borelli?
That's just going to haunt him forever.
He became an Italian. That's too funny.
I know. Like the names just get more and more Italian as it goes.
Yes. But anyway, it's like screen names are like almost interchangeable in terms of their like people think of their like efficacy for like your name, like your actual name. Whereas I feel like when I was like a kid, a screen name was like you would not want your friends to know your screen name because it was like, oh, I don't want my friends to know this.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a text. To know your screen name to know your real name. That you didn't want that either. So you want
it was always like it was meant for text too. It's like for online platforms, you just see it more than you're not supposed to be called that.
Why did we always put random like letters and numbers at the end? Is that just because we couldn't get the username we wanted? Some people get creative with it. They put like 2 X's on one end of it, 2 X's on the other.
Oh, that's old era internet.
Oh yeah,
that's Xbox Live screen names.
This is like some geriatric millennial shit.
Yeah,
that the kids will not get. No, they probably.
But you better pronounce each X when you address me, or else it's all part of the screen name. You got to say it all. What were we talking about right before we mentioned Destiny? Oh, YouTube. We were talking about YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube partner program.
And you were talking about the TikTok monetization program got switched around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So all I'm saying is like I feel like TikTok is very rapidly going through the phases that YouTube went through because everyone's always complaining about YouTube changing stuff too.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it overall is more predictable than what TikTok has been because like it's just things change so fast in that realm.
Oh yeah.
And YouTube is just generally more secure, even though I know there's people that have issues with YouTube. I think for this kind of stuff I make, I'm not really worried about running into issues with that though. So I'm gonna probably do more of that. But TikTok is like it's fun doing stuff on there, and I like being able to just do fast videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Just feels good. And they can still be worth it, but they've definitely like taken the incentive away just like a little bit. Where I'm like,
what would you say is like what is the like if you put like because obviously income is kind of a weird thing to talk about quantitatively, but you could say like what the percentage is that you like are noticing like, oh, I'm noticing like it's 5% dip or whatever. Like
so it's been the change has only been live for a few weeks. It's over 50%.
Oh God. Ooh.
Yeah.
But just within that program, right?
But here's the thing. I don't know because they have language in there that's like, okay, we have these, now it's your CPM, right? Like the amount per view.
I think something
like
that.
They have all these qualifications for like what determines that.
Isn't it? It's amount per 1,000 views or something like that. Something weird like that.
So like that number, they say that's the calculation on that is changing based on new factors, which is like search optimizations, account like standing like for advertisers, I think. another
okay.
one.
So whether or not you have
And
like a strike,
and then community engagement, which I'm not sure how they're like. They say these things and then they don't explain any details about what that means or how much that's actually factoring in. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
extremely
okay,
vague.
is the number of comments to views ratio going to affect the CPM number at the end of that? Like, what is that? What does that mean? They also
Things like
removed.
that freak me out.
They also had an old payment system that was like called Pulse or something that gave you a certain amount of like, it gave you like a flat rate. You didn't know until the end of the month. It was like if your video was shown next to other ads, there was like a little bit of a cut there. And they said that's gone because now it's implemented into the creativity fund or whatever it's called now.
Oh,
so
okay.
like I'm waiting for like a full month to complete because like maybe what I'm seeing now isn't the full picture, and there's going to be like, oh, it's the end of the month. Here's extra for the search engine stuff and other things.
Yeah, like you don't know
like,
when.
I don't know. I just don't know how they're like splitting it up now. All I'm seeing on my end is like, oh wow, that's a big change. Okay,
That's
noted.
So maybe they're doing like endpoint testing. They're like, we're gonna take it to like this low and then this high, and then they take a higher low and then a lower high and then a higher low, and they get closer and closer to like
I'm confused.
Point that's like safe. So what I'm saying is before it might have been the max, and now this might be the min.
I think it was.
You're trying to find like a midpoint. Yeah,
they're min-maxing their potential.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, they might be. Because they might have done too much before, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I made use of it last year. So
I'm curious. Are you thinking of doing like merch and stuff so that you can like weather those types of?
Yeah, I mean that's been talked about. I've had people ask me about like hats and things like that.
Gotcha.
I just don't.
You could definitely do a hat thing. Like you've.
I wear hats all the time, so that would be like the easiest.
If you do some goofy merch, I'm gonna buy it.
If you
goofy ass merch.
Gonna buy it.
You can't do the blue Pikmin hat, but if you had like a partnership with Nintendo, you could. Like that's the weird thing about merch is a lot of times you need like partnerships to get like notable merch.
Yeah.
I know that ID or like whatever, you know.
Right. If your online presence is based on like certain games, I mean, right. I see creators do it anyway, which they're not really supposed to. But like, you go to some YouTubers like e-store, and they're like, "Oh, my mascot is Gengar," and they're just selling like sort of Gengar like outlines.
Sort of Gengar.
Like it's purple and it has like his eyes, but like.
Yeah,
like
I was
like
you know what?
They really like toe that line, and I'm like, I don't know.
I was thinking about that in the context of YouTube thumbnails the other day because I was thinking about doing more of those Five Nights at Freddy's sound effects, and I was like, how much of a character could I use in the thumbnail and still stay in the partner program? Ultimately, that was kind of my thought.
I seriously doubt that would be an issue.
Okay, because I know people play games and stuff all the time, so
yeah, especially with games, it gets very like. You're very gray area. Like,
okay.
Technically speaking, I use a lot of music in monetized videos that's from games.
Right.
It just doesn't like that music does not exist in like Spotify's or YouTube's like music.
Oh, right. Like the copyrights, ID system.
Because I don't think the companies pay to like create copyrights for the soundtrack. It's all just baked into the game is its own thing. Music included.
Well, so that's kind of cool because people can use that pretty freely. Yeah. Then, is it kind of that way for stuff like Wii games too? Because I feel like I always see people use Wii music and monetize videos.
I think that's just because of nostalgia that people just tend to use that more often. But really, I mean, I guess technically they shouldn't. Like,
probably not. But
you don't own it. Like you don't own the music.
Is, I don't know if they're monetized or not. It could have been somebody doing Patreon, but I'd be curious to know. Because I feel like I see that in so many videos. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just Wii music all over here.
I think they probably do get away with it. But
what is like
should they?
What is the correct monetization model for TikTok? Like, what is it? What do they do? What do you think it is?
In terms of like how they should be doing it? Like as opposed to how they're doing it now?
Well, you're talking about streaming specifically, right?
I mean, for the music thing, that would apply anywhere because you'll get flagged for copyrighted music in streams or in videos. Even on TikTok now, if the video is over a minute long, the video can get muted if it has copyrighted audio.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of complicated, isn't it?
But if it's shorter than a minute, and like YouTube Shorts, for instance, you can monetize those and use anything you want copyrighted.
I don't know why.
As long as it's under a minute, they don't care.
I don't know why in the year 2024 we're still cracking down on people just like using music and making it more popular. And even with like features built in where the artist can monetize it, which is so funny to me. You can literally put up a cover on YouTube and you can monetize it if it's your cover. So you can make money and the artist will make money off of it. So it's like, I don't understand why they don't just be like, oh, let's make a few cents here off of this. Let it trickle in. Let's let millions of people upload our songs. Like make a bunch of extra money.
I don't know. That's a good point. I remember someone telling me, like, I was at a bar and someone was asking me about like blockchain stuff. And I was like, they were making a point about how like maybe you could get around like copyright issues with music if we just use the blockchain. And I didn't really know what to say to that. I'm like, I don't think there is a good solution. Like
not right now. Yeah, not using that. But
like at the end of the, there's not like a good tech solution. It really is more of a people problem, right? Like you have to have people look at cases. So maybe what it is like there's a lot of people that, I'm just guessing, but like maybe there's like, I'm just gonna agree that it shouldn't be a problem. Like I don't think it should be a problem. I'm guessing that like there's a lot of lawyers that make like pretty good money off of that problem.
All I'm saying is like when my album is done, I want people to use that shit. I want you to use it in your YouTube videos. I want you to use it in your TikToks.
Yeah.
I want you to go for it.
You're like that
promote my music.
There's a game developer who calls himself Pirate Software.
Pirate software.
Like, I want you to pirate software.
Yeah.
It's like, like it's gonna happen anyway.
But they actually make their own games.
Yeah, he made a game that's like Undertale, but it's done pretty well. But what's it called? I can tell you more about what the game is, but I can't remember the name of it though. What did he make?
So he
made Heartbound. Heartbound is what it's called. Yeah, he made Heartbound.
Oh, okay. I think I know that. So he like finishes the game.
Heartbound and Undertale, like, right, little like mix.
I feel like I might have seen that. So he like puts it on Steam and then he immediately uploads it to like all the torrent sites.
Oh shit! Fuck.
What a generous guy.
But he made his game free, but he doesn't care if people like find a way to get it because he's like, I'm making this game because I want people to play it. I don't care if like it's like a good attitude to have because people
that is smart. Yeah, especially if you need. I mean, if you just are trying to get out there at all. I mean, I was doing videos on TikTok for a long time before monetization was even like a thing I thought was possible. They didn't even have it on the platform back then.
Yeah,
when I first started.
Yeah, I feel like social media is it's interesting. You could tell something's changing because when you look at the thing that's changing right now that I don't think has happened before in the last 20 years of social media is big social media companies are making things that aren't social media.
Yeah.
Like Meta does not work on Facebook almost at all anymore. That's a huge weird. Like this is
maybe that is the solution in the long term to this music problem is like maybe there just needs to be a restructuring of like how that stuff is tracked. So like I can see what the guy who's like saying, yeah, blockchain could solve this. And like I know what he's saying because like theoretically if it was an automated thing where it's like your music is in the system and it's recognized automatically and you profit automatically whenever that gets used. And it's like all the percentages are determined in advance. You don't have to do anything. But like that doesn't exist right now. Like you can't just opt into something like that. It would have to be created.
It's almost like if somebody made a third party like plugin for all media websites, they could just tie that together through servers and software and all that stuff. So it could just be like, some agency doing that, like under the radar, so to speak. Not under the radar, but you know what I mean, like low key.
I've actually thought I agree with the whole thing you said about how it's like if you set up like the contract so that when it plays it disperses some amount to the creator. Yeah, it's weird because like I realized like you will run into the same problems, but just they'll be more expensive. The problems will be more expensive, but they'll be the same problems. Like I'll give you an example of like someone.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I think one of the reasons that hasn't actually shown up is because when you try to implement something like that, you run into this thing where a problem that we already have is somehow replicable in the new system, but it's just more expensive to resolve. Like, for example, someone getting the music and changing a very tiny, like a very tiny part of it, or changing the EQ just a little bit so that it's different enough that it can't violate copyright law. And then they're still
taking the full amount.
Yeah, they'll still get their disbursement, even though they're like a false author of it, right? As long as they can get the music used somewhere and they can get views on it, or not views, listens on it, and get it like up high enough that people start using it in their streams or using it wherever. So I feel like it's always going to come down to like popularity, like, and free markets. Like when people like something, they use it. Whether or not it's the false thing or the true thing, that's what they use. They don't care if it's false or true. They just, that's what they use because it's the popular thing.
Yep.
And so it really is more of a free market problem than it is like a who's the real author problem. It's like the way
whatever's easiest, like you're saying. It's like people are just going to grab the thing that's the shortest path. And that was Gabe Newell's bet back in the day with Steam. He's like,
true, yeah.
Because before Steam existed, it was really easy to pirate games. Like it was really easy to like copy a CD-ROM and just pass it out. People did it all the time with like StarCraft. You just take a CD and you burn it and then you pass it out. And Gabe Newell was like, we can stop this if we just make digital games really easy to do. Yeah. And if it's easier, then people will just do that. Like most people aren't trying to steal things. And you could argue a lot of people that are pirating maybe don't have the money for it.
When I think of what you were talking about, Andrew, though, I wonder if there's a way that they could have more detailed information in the database so that you have like, okay, we have this song copywritten at this date. It's like clearly these are remixes, and maybe you have it like whenever the what do you call it, the AI or whatever is doing it is essentially finding out that something's been remixed or modified, but it is in fact the same sample. It can send like a notification to the original person and be like, hey, it's like, do you approve this remix? I don't know. Something along those lines. Yeah.
Something more
detailed,
where they kind of match the like record to like a record that already exists. They might not be exactly equal, but it matches and detects like, there's a high similarity of this other record. And before it like puts it on the chain, it's in like a pending state, like waiting for approval from the first part of the match, the person who created the first thing.
Right. I think something as simple as having like that kind of mechanism would be interesting, and not necessarily having it up to record companies. Maybe actually putting that in the hands of the artists themselves, because the record companies just abuse that shit, or they would farm it out to somewhere else.
Assuming that's part of a bigger platform, then you wouldn't need a publisher or anything. You would just be in that ecosystem, and that would be like probably an all-inclusive thing.
Because
the publisher tries to get the information or like know the people who will get them the information. That's usually, so it's like if you have like this all automated, you kind of, for independent musicians, that sounds like a really good idea. You have to migrate together, like, oh my God, is this the first like real blockchain AI company idea? Like you have like this blockchain thing so that you can
we'll just take this part out of the podcast.
Music.
This is our idea.
And then you have the AI thing, which helps keep the record unique because it has to identify near similarities.
It keeps origin intact.
Yeah. It has to define what original content is, which is going to inherently be kind of like a derivative.
And if it sees, it's like, hey, this song was uploaded, or this song was copywritten in 2015 and put in our database, and anything beyond that point is a remix.
Yeah.
And so then you need the streaming platforms to use that like technology as the servicing method for validating, like, are you using copywritten music?
Right.
Like, wait, are you using this like blockchain thing? Okay, then we're not going to like slash your content. because we're making sure disbursements happen through that contract.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're just sending revenue. Like,
damn, I think
problem
that
solved.
actually, there's got to be someone working on that, but that's actually a pretty cool way to like approach the whole thing.
Even if it doesn't start at like the corporate music level, like you were saying for indie artists, I think that would be an amazing tool.
For independent artists, I think that's something they actually want, because they do run into like, I don't know what a good musical experience. Sorry, let me just start that over. I don't know what a
rewire.
So I don't know what a good comparator is to this, but think of like the XQC thing of like people got mad at XQC. Not everybody, but like a lot of people got mad at XQC.
Yeah, some people,
and
yeah.
like what's his name? Hassan.
Oh, Hassan Piker. Yeah.
Yeah. For like basically just like it felt like they were kind of stealing content because they were doing reactionary content. But what I'm getting at is I don't know what I wonder what some good examples are of like stealing music revenue, stealing like streaming revenue through like music. I wonder what some good examples of that would be. That you
wasn't
could, like,
there?
yeah,
wasn't there some artists? I know sometimes like borders will cause a problem with that. Because do you know of Oliver Tree, famous artist, weird outfits, interesting look? He had a song.
Oh yeah.
He had a song remixed by, I think, somebody in the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. And what ended up happening is that he was getting tons of copyright claims on his own track remixed, like in some guy's set. Wow. And it caused like a serious legal battle, from what I understand. I'd have to look up the details of it, but
I sent the link to the or I sent I DM'd to 2Gabe because it formatted.
What is it?
Weird, but
special link. I'm gonna click.
It has a weird format, but maybe it'll
the Wikipedia page.
No, it opened.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen such a passionate person. I had to think about that for a second. I was like, I'm not going to say anything more.
That is a hell of a photo.
That is a man
to be your profile shot.
That is a man who is angry that his song got stolen.
It's a very good dating
passionate
picture.
Passionate, yes.
Yes.
Imagine someone being like, "Hey, I'm in the area. I'm just traveling," and that's their Tinder picture. they're like, "Hey."
Oh my god.
They're like, "Hey, you want to chill?"
Yeah.
I want like.
You want to have
what if these AI things are too good and they can like, because we're talking about detecting details and like changes between remixes. What if it starts like flagging other songs just for using like similar patches? It's like, oh, we heard this same exact noise, because like people reuse, drums and like.
I think sample duration could take care of that, because it would have to be
so much to fiddle with.
Yes, because I don't think it would be based. If I was making it, basically, I wouldn't make it based on the timbre of a specific instrument in the song. It's like all of it added together, and basically like
because you can tell the system we have now is very like whole song. I mean, there's a fascinating video I watched on like how things like Shazam actually work and detect stuff so quickly. Yeah, because they kind of do it in segments, but it still matches to like a larger whole.
Right, right.
But if you needed to be able to like abstract chunks of a song, then you're talking about like a small. I don't know. Yeah, that's a very big problem. Also, if you're tagging long videos that have multiple songs, it's like, how do you divvy up? It's just based on duration. Like, okay, they used 4 songs in this video.
Yeah, I feel
this
like
one for 20 seconds. Like, it would have to be very intricate.
Yeah, what do you think, Andrew? Would it depending on the duration they use, would it make sense to have the revenue change? That's another thing.
That's so interesting. So like you don't block it from being like created. You just are like being like on the chain. You just like change the disbursement percent.
Yeah, it's like how much goes to each one based on how much of the song was used.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Or how long of
you'd have an interesting, I mean, that makes sense. Then you'd have like a really interesting market thing happen there, where there would be like an incentive to create something that is
usable,
like
works, and
also like you'd have an incentive to create like the second most popular remix, because it's probably really easy to make a remix of something, like with
easier than making your own song, probably.
And it's it's probably easier to get lucky with that being the most popular remix.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about remixes. I was just talking about like the original song. Like how much of a portion of it are you using?
And I'm imagining if you copy it, the same is probably true. But
I have the context wrong. So I thought you were saying like a portion that they use like in a video that has nothing to do with, you know, the song itself. You're talking about in a remix.
Well, but you could actually apply it to both. I was actually talking about what you were saying, but I switched it over to be like, well, what's an example where like people do make money? Like
got it.
From this kind of thing. But yeah, you can totally get copyright.
It's like how nuanced
for just using like a tiny portion.
Yeah.
So you could almost protect people from getting copyright striked when it doesn't make sense. If you're like, they only used 1% of the song. So we're not going to, do anything here. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be really cool. Like you could protect content creators. Again, it's like the independent content creators.
Even already, don't they have, they have the 5-second rule on YouTube, don't they? Where you can use basically like 5 seconds of copyrighted content and you're okay. I see a lot of people
people definitely use little snippets of stuff for sure.
I've always thought that was kind of an interesting little rule. I even kind of played along those lines with that little clip of Mr. Beast in my video from the sound effects channel.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is like they've had to solve some version of this problem because, but I don't think anybody's solved the like automatic disbursement of like revenue shared music.
Right.
Like the thing that you were describing or someone was mentioning earlier about the streaming and using music and like, what is it like, like, like that whole concept of like, I play a song and part of my, like what I'm paying for at Spotify, like goes to the right person. Mm-hmm. Like if it's a derivative track, it still goes to the right person. That's kind of an interesting thing too. There's a lot of weird things you could do with this, but I haven't heard of anyone actually successfully deploying this kind of like technology yet.
I'm excited for that to happen though, because I feel like that would be kind of an interesting thing to see develop.
Yeah, it's one of those theoretical things that people always, when they're talking about blockchain, they're always talking about, oh, you can do this like cool trick where like it automatically disperses some amount of that token, and then they can that's part of the payment. But it's like it's such a good idea, but I really want to see someone actually pull it off, and it's not just about pulling it off though, right? It's about like finding the market fit, the demand.
Well, it's also getting like record companies to agree, because that's another big challenge, because they're like, I don't understand. Like, what is this? I don't
understand this. I'm a lot more used to the Hollywood fuck you contracts. I don't know how to deal with this fair shit.
They're like, listen, I smoke cigars imported from Cuba. Okay, I need to be making the big bucks. I need to be making at least 10 cents. That kid used 5 seconds. I need 10 cents.
Right. They just need to like, do a test run. Like get a community of artists that are willing to sign up for it and just like see if it's working.
I would try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have to be to launch something like that. You would have to be like on a top layer compatible with like other platforms somehow. Yeah. Again, if it's too complicated and it's not easy enough to use, people aren't going to do it. But
there's a bug.
There's that, and then there's like a lot of people just like open source stuff. So like people just like free shit. Like I saw this post today. This guy created 3 albums for video games, and he said, "I don't know what games these should be for, so I'm just posting them on Reddit. You guys can import them into Godot and just use them for whatever." And everyone was like, "What? Oh, that's so amazing! Thank you." And then there were comments like, "What game did you work on? What was your game?" And like, "Oh, you can market by doing stuff for free. That's interesting."
Yeah,
Kind of an interesting way of going about it.
I know a thing or two about that.
But that's like, it's also a risk because then the more open source stuff you do, the more you can be taken advantage of as well. So there's that too. Can't really, nothing's perfect, It's all going to be, So
nobody's perfect. You live and you learn it. Sorry, guys.
That's a really good System of a Down song.
What's that?
It's Hannah Montana. Gabe, it's Hannah Montana. Get with the times.
Oh, I don't know though. That's before my time.
Before your time.
That's before my
2006.
It's actually not. I just didn't have cable TV for large portions of my life, so I kind of missed out on
That's true.
the Disney stuff.
Honestly, I wish I would have missed out on a little more cable TV.
It's like my parents were also really like very controlling of like what you can watch and what not. Like
I know.
like oh man, like
Oh my
what's
gosh.
this satanic Montana?
Harry Potter. Miley Cyrus.
Satana Montana.
She did one of these.
Satanic.
She did one of these.
Satana. Satana.
Satana Montana.
Satana Mossana. Like Masonic.
Satanic.
Hannah
Really
Montana.
trying to fit everything.
Masonic. Masonic.
I can't even like talk.
Mason-
Sonic Santana?
Oh, there's a
Satana
good
Montana
bit, though,
goes
in
to the
that,
Bohemian
like,
Grove.
some like redneck that just can't pronounce any of the evil stuff right.
Oh my god.
Santana?
That's some Satana Monsanic bullshit. Like
I like the bullshit thrown at the end. For authenticity. Oh my god.
My favorite sentiment from coming out of that era and like having that sensation of like media that you're allowed to consume or not.
Right.
Like as a kid in that system, I'll never forget the validating feeling of like finding something really cool that like is approved.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm allowed to listen to this. I'm allowed. Like I have permission to listen to this and enjoy it. I don't have to feel guilty. And it's like so terrible looking back, but it's amazing how powerful that was. It's like,
yes.
oh yes, Switchfoot. Man, they sound so cool. And nobody can tell me they're evil.
Dude, I remember when I was 12, I started listening to Skillet.
Score.
And there was a scream in 3 different songs, and I was like, ooh. It's like, I'm scared to admit I enjoy this. It's giving me the Christian heebie-jeebies.
I remember like my parents, my mom especially, was really, really like careful about what music we were allowed to listen to. And I remember discovering Mute Math, and like
I know I've heard of that.
And like she allowed me to
definitely
listen to them because they had the word math in their name. And I was like, yeah,
Math?
Good mom. Good mom.
M-A-T-H, math.
Yes, not the other one. Yeah.
I thought you okay.
Mute Math?
Yeah, I was like meth.
Mute Math. They're a band. Yeah, they're a very dead rock band. Yeah, they don't really make music. But this is when I was a kid, so it was like 20 years ago.
Rest in peace.
And yeah, I was like, it's okay to listen to them, honey, because math. They
so fun.
word math. Like, okay, and they didn't make really bad music, but it was rock. And so,
Dude, that's when you need to go to your mom and be like,
so
Mom,
good.
there's numbers on a Ouija board. What do I do?
Is it mute?
Is
math?
this good?
Yeah,
Is this good? I can't tell.
I can't.
Oh, Ed, I did watch that Olin Rogers ghost hunting episode that he posted finally.
Was it a fun one?
I was surprised.
Don't spoil it. I haven't watched it yet.
I'm just I won't say anything, but I was surprised by how like it's a serious like show. Like they're really doing stuff. And they had some weird things happen. Like,
they did. Dude, that's why I want. Dude, those ghost hunting videos are fun to watch because it's like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, whatever.
I will say
that could have been anything.
Yeah, the tools that they use are definitely like a little suspect. It's like,
for sure,
have to be a music box with a creepy song. Does this? Why are these called cat balls? I don't know.
Right.
Like you would think there would be more serious equipment. If this is like such a well-established thing.
And I would love for somebody to go in, put a Faraday cage over an entire building, block any potential outside whatever from coming in, and put the REM pods in, do their thing. I would love for somebody to do that. There's just nobody has enough money to invest in that, which is unfortunate.
I guess
I would
so.
love to see more details.
That's where things get interesting because like I have this sensation in general with like, I don't know, like content creation. Like if I'm playing a game that's like new, for instance, there's always that like gold rush of people that are like that content farm a new thing.
Yes.
And everybody rushes to like, I'm gonna get the first video to be like the top 10 best moments of blah, or all the mistakes, or like, the really easy low hanging fruit gets like immediately sucked up. especially now that like, people get like advanced copies or whatever. But like everything else, like there's so much stuff that I would also think like, oh, someone's probably already done that. I'll look for stuff and I'm like, oh, that doesn't exist yet. And like even going back to like older games, it's like, oh, no one ever really bothered to make this thing, which seems like such an obvious, like there would be a demand or an interest. And then I thought about that like outside of content. I'm like, there's probably like I've had that assumption just about like, deep sea exploration. Like, oh, they've probably searched all the ocean. Right. But it's like, no, not really. I mean, there's so much of it. There's definitely stuff out there that has not been explored just because like people can only do so much.
There's a lot of stuff that that doesn't get funding, and sometimes it's even because of stigmatization. Like they see the kind of people that ghost hunt and they're like, we're not going to put fucking money towards this,
So I would be curious to see in the ghost hunting world what hasn't been done just because of like either financial limitations or like people just obviously a lot of people do it just for the entertainment value probably, and that's
and honestly
not incentivized to do it as legit as possible because that's harder and more expensive.
When I'm watching the videos, like obviously I was going heavily skeptical, but there's always like those random moments where you're like, oh man, that could have been an answer. It's just there's something fun about it. I don't know.
It is just a fun format.
It is also one of those things that if I really wanted a confirmation, I'd have to do it in person. And the idea that's so terrifying.
Yeah,
I'm a big scaredy cat.
Yeah, that'd be spooky.
But hey, if you guys ever want to go to Coruscant, take a little REM pod, beep beep.
Florida ghost hunting.
See what we get.
Would probably
there's a lot of ghosts
perform well.
My alligator. And so
there's a lot of ghosts in the swamp.
He was telling me. No, my alligator told me. It was good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that's something we could probably get around to.
Yeah. It'd be kind of fun.
Everybody's doing it.
Okay, so look, if you go to like Central Florida, where like a lot of the drugs are, I'm sure you could find some really interesting broken or like abandoned properties and shit. And there's
for sure.
You could find some weird shit for sure. Yeah,
dude. Even Coruscant, where we camped that one time, has a very strange history. It's like a cult that basically lived there. They thought that everybody's living inside the earth, and that the sun was like, I don't know, like a hole that light was passing through from the outside. It was
I met
weird.
All kinds of cool weird friends there. It was really cool.
Cool and weird is a very good combo.
You guys are like, what?
Cool and weird. I like cool and weird.
That solo walk you took at the campsite. I was like, oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
that was interesting. I liked going camping though. That was really fun. Even though it was like a creepy site. It
wasn't creepy where we were though. Like, do you remember though? We were gonna walk to the houses, but we didn't end up doing it. I wanted to go so bad, but everybody else was like, no, I don't know.
You had the instincts.
It would have been fun.
Were you watching like ghost hunting content back then?
Oh no, I was.
Okay.
I had the heebie-jeebies back then.
So the itch revealed itself back then. How long ago was that? That has to be like
was probably 2015 or 16. So it's been a long time.
I feel like I would totally.
I know it's a doozy.
I would totally I would pay money to find like proof of like ghosts. Like I would spend a lot of money to like I want that. Like I would love to 'cause I feel like I've had like very personal experiences and stuff like that, but I've never like seen a ghost.
Okay, I want to get into this. What is your experience that you've had? I want to know.
I've had like stories, experiences. I've had psychological experiences. Yeah,
really.
I haven't, like just generic psychological experiences, and I think maybe I would call them spiritual, but someone else might not. It just depends on how you define things. But I definitely want to know more about like people who've actually like witnessed not just like, oh, their brain tricked them, but like an actual material ghost.
Yes.
That, like defies physics. Like I feel like I myself have not seen that.
Well, it's like when we were talking to Dustin like a while back, he was talking about like actual stuff like moving in their old house or something like that. You remember?
Yeah, they were renting a house that apparently had a lot of activity in it.
Yeah, it was like stuff was moving.
That he saw things.
Shadow figures, like weird stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck?
I don't think I've ever had anything like that where I was like, I saw something that I couldn't explain.
Never once have I had anything like that.
Okay, I have
like
one thing I haven't been able to explain for a long time. It sounds like I'm going to go into a bit, but I'm being serious.
Go.
Like I
want the gay stories.
like, I went to the bathroom earlier and blah 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 blah. No,
Yeah, took a big shit. Looked like a shadow figure.
It was way too big. I couldn't explain it. I was like, okay, look, I was 16, and I do have a very vivid memory of this, and it's okay, this is weird because this was like very easy to tell that something weird happened and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
So we had these plates at my old house in Matthews, North Carolina, that were like very, very like a plate and then a very thick lip. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you have a plate like that and you stack them on top of each other, it stands to reason it's not really gonna just like move.
Yeah,
like
just fly.
Yeah, we would say that it's set. It is set. So even if there was like a small earthquake or something like that, the plates should still be like on each other, even if they break. Okay, so what I'm getting at is my mom she was cooking and I was doing dishes, and it was just like me and her in the kitchen, and we both remember this really well. I haven't talked to her about it in a long time. I'd be curious what her memory of it is. And
interesting.
She opens a dish. She opens like one of the cupboards, and she goes to get a plate, and she gets the plate and then puts it next to the thing that she was cooking, and I think that she was like plating or something like that. But she kept the cupboard open. She kept the cupboard open.
Yeah.
Then without anybody touching it, and I saw this happen. I saw it. I saw the top plate that was there shoot out and break on the ground. Okay? Now that's not a lie. That's a real story. My mom, I think she saw it. I actually saw it. And to this day, I just don't understand how...
This was a level pile of plates. There wasn't any like...
It
shot. If you were watching it happen.
It was
that's crazy.
What?
Yeah, it was high velocity. Yeah. And that's the only thing I've ever seen like that. Like, I've seen weird stuff. But
dude, and then you find out your mom just pulled the best fucking prank of the century on her little child.
Like, she 40 years later, she's like in a hospital bed, and she's like, I've lived a good life.
You remember that plate?
I need to tell you.
Gotcha, fucker.
And then she's like, gotcha. And she just passes away.
I love it.
That sounds like an Arrested Development. Like, I wanted to like teach my kids that the spiritual realm was real, so I had to prank them with like
Lucille would do that to Buster.
Fishing line to plates.
My kids that the spiritual realm was real, so I tricked them.
I lied to them.
I lied. Okay, but that's an example of something that I feel like that's almost more interesting to me. Figuring out like how the fuck did that happen? Because what you're kind of seeing is what seems to be like a break in physics. And when I see that kind of stuff, I feel like, oh, there's something spiritual to that.
Yeah.
But when I hear of people being like, oh, like I saw a demon, I'm like, okay, maybe you did. But that's going to be so much harder to describe why that's not physical reality. Whereas like explaining like, no, there was like a physical object that was like this. There was no Newtonian force, and then it just shot out like that. It's like, that's kind of like, it breaks the physics boundary, and it kind of makes me more interested in like, maybe that's what a ghost is.
Yeah, that's what we need, physical.
I did remember, I feel like the closest thing I've had to one is I feel like for a while when I was probably like 5 or 6 or something like that. Anytime I'd have a nightmare and I would wake up, like for 3 seconds after I woke up, I felt like I heard laughing around me.
Ew.
Really creepy.
Ew. Scary.
And
I just like start.
I haven't thought of that for fucking years, and I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, that's scary.
I wouldn't either. That's terrible.
But yeah, I remember that happening like probably 10 or 12 times, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, this is like I didn't know how to handle that as a kid." You know,
I feel like I've had weird dreams that feel kind of like I'm like there.
Yeah, and maybe it was partly that too. I don't know. Maybe I was like still half asleep, but
and I don't. And I think I've heard people. I'm not saying you're doing this, but this is just an interesting point I want to make. Like, you know how sometimes people will get kind of defensive when someone says like, "Well, maybe it was a dream," but I actually feel
it wasn't a dream. It wasn't a dream. Fuck you.
It wasn't a fucking dream. What are you talking about? I've always kind of been like, dreams are like can be kind of ghostly, kind of spiritual. I don't know. Like dreams are weird. Like, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, dreams are funky.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a weird thing to
Your
think
third
about.
eye just opens just a little, just a little crack.
Yeah.
It is a good example of like everyone has a shared experience of being able to like see and like remember and feel experiences that did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like we could all say like but you can say dream and like we know what you mean by that. So like that is kind of a crazy thing to exist.
Ooh,
Right.
Like just in general. It's like
why do we all have dreams? Yeah.
I will say though, I did hear a weird thing.
Reasons for it, and I'm like, bullshit. It's got to be something big. Sorry.
No. I was sorry. I was the one interrupting. But I did hear the other day though. It was kind of interesting that blind people do not ever see visions in their dreams. It's all audible. It's just audio dreams.
Audio dreams.
So that was
okay.
So that kind of led to like the possibility. It's like, okay, it's like maybe it is like dreams are kind of made up of what you've already absorbed, so to speak. But then again, I don't know. I haven't spoke to every blind person. So
I remember.
No, I mean that makes sense to me. But
you know,
I
thought it was kind of interesting though.
I did have a dream that I don't know if I was only seeing black or if I just wasn't seeing anything, because those are different. I guess those are like different things. But
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I do have a very vivid memory of a dream that I had that was just all sound.
Really?
Or at least like part of it.
I've never had one like that. That's interesting.
But it's only one. Only one that I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, what is that? Like when you have someone that's like, you were explaining like someone who's blind.
Yeah.
This is something that's always kind of like tripped me up. Is like, what would it be like? I must have been thinking about this shit when I was like really little, because I remember I was like 12 years old. I was 12 years old in science class at Gulf View Middle. And I had a teacher who was really like, she would answer any question. She wouldn't say anything about dumb questions. She would totally just answer whatever question you have.
Wouldn't pussyfoot around the question at all.
And I asked her that actually. But I asked her something. So she was talking about vision. She was talking about like vision and like dreams and like vision in your dreams and like why you're able to see stuff when you're asleep if you're in a dream and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting. But it was all very like high level, not really, you know, it was like 6th grade. So it's like not going to explain like how the world works to you.
Right.
And I asked her this question that was like, so what about someone who doesn't have any eyes? And she was like, what? You're just asking me that.
Good question.
Like,
curveball.
What if they were born without eyes? So they just like, they have never had an experience of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a dream. What happens then? And she was like, I don't know. And like, that's disgusting. Like, that was the first time I ever had this teacher.
Geez, that's
like,
ableist.
I'm not answering that question. Because I was 12 in a room of 12-year-olds saying, what if they were born without eyes? It's like, that's probably kind of gross and freaks me out. But I was asking a serious question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
It is a good question.
How does someone have a, like, if someone has
question.
a dream, is it possible that they could perceive something for part of their brain that doesn't work? Like, how would that, I don't know. Like, what does that do? And she just like shut me down. I was like, jeez. God damn, dude.
She's like, you're gross. Ew.
Yeah. She was like, I don't want to talk about kids being born without eyes. It's like, but it's like, a real question. Sorry. I know it's rare, but it's a real question. Yeah, and I still don't really know what the answer is to that. And I don't really care that much, but I do feel like it is interesting just how much like these deep kind of questions would get kind of like dismissed, like in schools and stuff like that. Like if you just ask things that are outside of the boundary of knowledge, they'd be kind of like, what? What?
Yeah. Right. Like, how dare you? Ew.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know what is seeing nothing? Like, what is that? It's fucking interesting. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And if blind people really like don't have dreams, if they have dreams where they don't see anything, is that like they just see black, or do they just see like actually?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Whenever you're blind, do you still get like sensations and the nerves in your eyes? You just don't see what's around you. Like, how does that work? Do we know?
I heard someone say it's like. I heard someone once say it's like trying to look out your elbow.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so you can see light coming in, maybe, but some people don't know that at all.
I think it's more like just, you know, like you can see stuff.
Yeah.
the way that I interpreted that was like, because I don't have eyes on my elbow, right? It's like if I try to like point my elbow anywhere, like, my vision doesn't change.
Okay, I was thinking about literally looking through the skin of my elbow, being like, everything's tan.
Eye in your elbow.
Everything's tan. There's an eye under my skin.
It's like, okay, try to imagine like what your elbow sees. And it's like, you can't really. And I think like that's the closest I've ever gotten to kind of being able to sort of think of what it would be like to
Joke's on you, motherfucker, my elbows can see everything.
Oh, my motherfucking elbows got some green eyes and shit.
My elbows are watching.
I don't know. What do you think about that? Like not being able to see versus being only able to see black. It's like,
yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I feel like having at least like a little bit of light come in your eye and seeing it, like the pattern change depending on like what room you go into, would be I don't know. It'd be interesting to have like that little bit of response even just compared to just being pitch black like that. Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is too, it's like if you've never experienced vision before, then the pitch black probably isn't even like off-putting.
It's not even
because it's always been there. Yeah, or it's not even a concept. Yeah,
I would be very bothered as like if everybody just suddenly started seeing in 4D and they all understood what that meant, and I was
suddenly
just
I can smell everything I'm seeing.
What? Yeah, everyone has this experience that I don't have access to. Like that would bother me. But at the same time, it's like I have no way of comprehending it, so I just know what I know.
What if you could just see everybody's thoughts right above their head about you as you pass them?
Oh, that's
just when you're close. Just when you're close.
Actually, that would be really good for dating. I just realized.
Yeah, that would go really well.
And he's like, he's hot. And I'm like, well.
Social issues with like dating in today's world and stuff. It's a really hot topic. I don't know. It's going to be until people really have kids again. But I feel like for now, everyone's like, I don't know what to do. What do I do with my life? I don't know if I should find a mate or if I should have kids or if I should just be alone. I don't know. And everyone's like freaking out. I think it's hilarious. And I feel like it would be really, really helpful if you could just know what someone else thinks. Like that would help a lot. It would also probably have a lot of bad side effects.
There would probably be bad things because, like, I think intrusive thoughts are a real thing.
Oh,
where it's like you can have a thought and you probably don't even mean it. Actually, I mean, I think in most cases it's like, if you knew what someone was thinking, you could like, for the most part, know exactly. Or at least know more about what their intent is and stuff. But there would definitely be like misfires, especially if you knew that someone could see your thoughts. It's kind of like telling someone to not think about a white elephant, and you're like, "Oh,
fuck,
I'm thinking about it."
Oh god!
So like, but like the amount of leverage that would give people, and it's like, well, yeah, everyone knows that like people think things maybe that they don't mean.
Yeah.
But if you see something that really bothers you, you're gonna dig your heels in and use
the
that
poker
against
of
people.
Right. Well, imagine
because we do that with what people say already. Like you said, and like no, it was a mistake, and it's like, well, you said it. And like,
yeah,
so it probably would be the same. It would just, yeah.
We're already doing bad enough with the thoughts that become public by accident.
Mm-hmm.
True. Actually, yeah, that's like what X is or Twitter. Yeah,
that is exactly what Twitter is. It's a look inside everybody's filthy, rotten, fucking
minds. Exactly.
Cussing too much. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Boys. Can I leak one of Ed's DMs real quick? Can we pivot to the leak DMs segment?
No.
Because Ed put something in our chat that I haven't. It's been like months since I've laughed this hard. Like I was so caught off guard by this video.
Oh, don't you dare!
It just got better and better. And we are. This will probably be a shorter episode just because I have to like wrap this up before midnight. But
I still got my mystery box. Don't forget.
How do I? And yeah, we gotta leave room for the box. Why?
I'm scared.
Share. Oh, there it is. Okay, so share window.
It better not be gross. My parents want to know what's in it.
Listen, it doesn't matter what's in it. It's not like you picked it.
That's true. Know? That's a good point.
Why should you be self-conscious about whatever's in there?
I'm worried what my mommy will do.
This.
Oh yeah.
This is so.
This video is iconic. I love it.
This killed me.
Corey Flanagan, aka
Can you hear this?
Corey.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a tour of my drum set. Well, starting off, it's a Stereon drum set, a 5-piece kit.
I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, it's junky. I gotta clean up. That's fine.
Detail number one, amazing.
Starting off with drums. Have my piccolo snare. I put tape on it because I don't like chrome snares, like black snares.
Oh, man, it's
Also,
laggy.
volume warning. Oh, is it lagging through? Can you hear it though? Like,
Yeah.
Mama, Mama, shh. I'm making a tour real quick. He said I can have 5 minutes to make a tour.
Mom, let me make my tutorial.
Disregard that. I will edit that out.
I will edit that out.
No, you won't. Piccolo snare has a Remo Ambassador.
That's a nice drum set.
Hell yeah.
Then a
It's been
Remo. Never mind, change that.
That's
Remo
so loud.
Emperor on top
Change
and the
that.
Remo Ambassador on the bottom. I have my Piccolo tom with a Remo.
Gotta mute that, Tom. That duct tape.
With also a Remo Ambassador.
Duct tape.
Tom with the Evans Generic with the Evans G Plus head.
wait for it. We're still building up.
PC2 Rezo.
Just
head.
you wait.
Same thing on that song and that song. All right.
Okay, let's play those drums. Let's play them.
Let's go.
Let me get me a symbol out of my Zildjian
Oh yeah.
stick
Okay,
bag.
hold on. Hold on.
You gotta flex. You gotta show that Zildjian bag. That's
You have to play the whole
Regal
thing.
Tip 7
This
A's.
is a suspense.
Also,
Regal
Big
tip,
Bird
baby.
8BN.
That's what they called me in college.
Snare.
A little bit of peeking. Okay.
Okay, I'd sample that.
12-ish time. 13.
Oh.
16.
So curious.
All right.
Here we go.
10-inch Sabian XS20. 10-inch splash.
Oh my god.
All right. Zildjian ZBT. I had
I'm sweating.
they're old.
Still just as funny.
and
Oh, I can't breathe.
they'll do the job for now. 16-inch ZBT.
Oh god.
Come on, guys.
ZBT Ride.
Oh.
20-inch
Okay.
tape under the bottom.
The tape isn't helping.
Oh my god! All right, that's enough.
Innocent build up.
I've never
What
in
was
my
he
life.
recording that with?
potato. No, I didn't. Dude, that mic. That was the most beautiful distortion I've ever heard. Oh my god!
It's so pure and it gets maxed out so fast. Oh, that killed me.
What's so funny, dude?
no idea what to expect. I was like, what's going to happen if he's going to play the drums?
Dude, I was legitimately just looking at drum videos because I'm like, I'm like pumped up. I want to start drumming again, because that's what you need to do at 30. And then I find that video. It was amazing.
God, I just didn't expect it. I mean, Ed even kind of spoiled the video, and because you said something like, "Yeah, those cymbals," but
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I was not prepared for how loud.
I just knew. Hey, I knew the beginning half of the video was a slow burn, so I was like, okay, I gotta tell them like there is a catch. You gotta wait.
All of it. All of the build up with the hole in the wall and the
I forgot
like
about
it feels
the
like
broken wall.
it feels like a Rocco video. It's so
It
funny.
does. That's why I love it. Oh, it's so good.
That was real. That was.
Oh my god, that's watching that the first time was the hardest I've laughed in a long time.
So good.
It's
so
funny because
good.
it sounds like it's like a something he recorded and then played over the.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh gosh,
Mhm.
that distortion. It's
That's
insane.
amazing.
So funny
Anyway.
though. Love it.
Oh,
I'll wait on. I think we might have some TikTok sent to us, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that one. We've got time. It's
they're
10.
short.
It's 11:20.
Let's do this.
This seems like a good watch for the next podcast. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Riggy.
Oh, hey, you. Coming for your usual, huh? Don't worry. It'll be right out, fam. Just finishing this big order. Someone ordered like 20 medium black.
Why does this
coffees.
feel?
I just finished pouring the last one. Huh? Oh, no. It's no problem.
Is this gonna go
It can't
south?
be that heavy to carry all of them at once.
Trying to decide if it is.
All right. Okay. I just
Mhm.
have to carry.
Is this the actual Mr. Beast account that commented on this?
No.
My eyes!
Screaming. Dear God.
All right, yeah. I mean, yeah, ASMR, right? That's what ASMR is. Wow.
What I love is the ear piercing ASMR. That's what really does it for me. That's what makes me relax.
Right.
This seems like a
Going
good
to sleep.
one for the next episode.
It seems like a good one for the next time you go to sleep.
And the last time I did that, instead of responding like a normal person, he decided to flesh it out and turn it into a fully produced song. And just for comparison, this is
Oh,
what
no.
the original audio note sounded like that I sent him.
Sometimes I feel like you don't love me.
And here's what he did with it.
I like it already. It's like a grime song.
Yeah, that's what somebody in the comments is saying too.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. I mean, damn.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right.
Not bad. Dude, I was expecting cringe.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I know people were commenting about the health of their relationship, and I would just say I would take the boyfriend's side on
Yeah.
that approach. And I need to do that.
Oh, I
Send
love
this.
I love that.
Oh,
President Biden, if you ban TikTok, we'll never be able to see this again. This land is
so cursed.
They breached the gates on the north lawn. We take the shot.
Oh my god, it's brilliant.
Amazing. I love that comment. AI can't recreate this.
Definitely not.
Chopper in the back.
Oh my god, that
Yeah.
is one thing AI will never be able to create.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That level of
that's
authenticity.
I guess that's something we didn't even really touch on.
AI?
Yeah, TikTok is like could get banned, maybe again. We'll see. I don't know. All the more reason to maybe work on
Oh.
YouTube a little bit more.
Boomer Nation, baby.
Is YouTube going to
Ban
ban
that shit.
TikTok? It's like Boomer doesn't understand it.
Oh, YouTube's banning TikTok. Oh yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, because Chinese. Yeah.
I don't know what the state of that.
Yeah.
All they said was like it needs to go through one more stage of votes, the Senate or the House or one of those or something.
Singapore's in China, right?
You're
No, not that again. Not that again.
more than China, right?
But I'm getting ads like on TikTok that are like from like it's like good old Southern boys that started their business on TikTok, and it's like TikTok
really?
trying to promote things to say like, yeah, don't take away the app. Look at all the good things it's done for America, but they're like trying too hard, and it makes it seem like more suspicious.
Oh no.
I feel like the only way they could really do that is to find someone saying they don't like the Chinese. Like,
yeah,
and also it's a good old
that
boy.
would be the actual
Oh,
way to
no.
do that, and they wouldn't be willing to do that. So
Because
we'll
really, that's
see.
what it is, right? That's what the ban is.
Yeah, they don't like that it's not owned by an American company.
Right.
Yes.
Which is conveniently timed with an election year. And
Although, isn't
Yeah.
TikTok US like the company that owns it? I thought.
Yeah, there's
They-
a US branch.
they
Yep.
created a U.S. branch, and supposedly the data is being stored over here. Our data is not technically like on, but
So then what is
owned
the
by same
issue?
company. So they're just suspicious of it.
Hmm.
And like,
All right, well, shit.
and I hear people
No.
say like security issues and stuff, and it tracks tracks your stuff outside
Well, this is,
the
I mean,
app.
it's how both sides lose the election. Like the Republicans are going to try to ban TikTok, and the Democrats are not going to support are not going to support Palestine, and that's why no one's going to vote for anybody.
That's going to be it. That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Wait, we didn't talk
No,
about
no.
something really important about fuel.
Fuel.
Oh.
Oh,
No, yeah.
shit.
Fueling your energy.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, we didn't talk about that. Well, Ed's getting the box. Guys, thank you for supporting. God, I wish they were supposed to send me a Duke Nukem G Fuel.
Come get some.
We're going to promote what we should have had, which is
Yeah,
Duke
I'll put
G
a
Fuel.
I'll put a picture of it up, but Duke Nukem G Fuel, you can get it for 10% off with code SUPER.
For this sponsor segment, I will now use the restroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he does actually. Oh, okay.
Okay. How he pees.
Okay, bye G Fuel.
Arms
Actually,
out.
this is sort of a pending thing. This is a pretty cool. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a sponsor for the podcast, even though they.
What is that? Is that?
I've heard of Nixie as a brand, Nixie controllers, but they did say that they could set us up with like an affiliate link for these.
Well, I love
the
game.
I'm like
inspiration. I'll always go. For
yeah,
that.
like isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And I've already opened this and messed with it, but I haven't like. I wanted to make a video about it at some point. So, but it's a very.
Is that two controllers?
Yeah, you can put this on your Switch. You can take both like things off and slot it
Nice.
and use it as Joy-Cons.
I dig it.
But very high quality controller. That's not officially set up yet, but if it is, by the time this video is up, there'll be like a link or something in the
Give me like
in the bio
Ocarina
for
of Time
Nixie.
remake on the new Switch, and I'll do that GameCube same. Yeah.
And they have them in like orange and black too, which shout out to that iconic orange GameCube controller.
Oh yeah, what a weird
But,
idea.
Legally speaking, it's not Nintendo.
Yeah, come on.
That was cool. So if you're not into that G Fuel, that God Fuel,
yeah,
maybe you need a new Switch controller. You can support
And
the
maybe-
podcast that way.
And maybe, Nintendo, if you're listening, get us a Crazy Taxi remake. We are, it would be
Oh
really
my
good.
God. You say that? I heard rumors that they're actually trying to bring Crazy Taxi back, but it's going to be like a live service game.
What?
And
So
it's like
wait, this is basically, it's just the execs at Nintendo being like, you know what?
Yeah,
Rocket
but it's
League
not-
is a pretty good game.
Yeah. No, they were trying to hype people up like, yeah, Crazy Taxi's coming back, but it's going to be like a 100-man Royale game. And I'm like, what?
What?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to see.
If you also want to support us, you could do that very directly through our PO box, which will be on screen. And we're celebrating the first actual package of the year.
You can send us strange, suspicious packages just like this to our PO box.
It sounds so official.
Yeah. So should I open it?
It's time. The
All right.
time has come to open it.
Sheesh. Okay.
In my opinion, I just thought, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh no.
Opening a PO box and just letting
no.
people send me anything.
Dave, you have me nervous.
I mean, I'm the one that picks it up, but I wanted to make sure I could give this to somebody to open for a
shit.
fresh reaction.
Just ripping the box. Oh my
I have
God.
a question. Is it meowing?
Excuse me?
Is it meowing?
Is it meowing? Is there sounds coming out of it?
I can't show this. Are you fucking kidding me?
We can't even see what it is.
Oh my God.
Babe, get this the fuck out of my house. What the
Wait,
hell?
I don't know what that is. Is that like is it a lava lamp? What? I didn't really get a good look at it.
Is that can you bring that a little
It's
closer
like
so
an
we can just
alien dick.
an alien dick.
No, that can't be right. No, nobody. That's
You're gonna have to
crazy.
just get a little closer.
With
I might-
eggs? It says with eggs. What the fuck?
What does that say there? Oh God!
eggs.
What the fuck?
That's a lava lamp because the eggs float in it, right?
I don't believe it. Can you
Right,
unbox?
that's-
Can you unbox the other box? that you
Gabe,
put in there?
all I'm
No,
saying
he
is
doesn't.
like, how dare you?
You know,
I had that sitting in my closet for 2 weeks.
right?
I don't know what's in that. I don't know if it's used.
I can tell you that it's not used, but that's all I can reveal at this time.
Creature.
Dear God.
Yeah, I might have to censor. I don't know. I don't know I don't know if you can show stuff like that on YouTube. I know, Mega 64 gets sponsored by
me like
Tango,
holding
so
it up to the camera.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, so
What a
the PO
surprise.
box is on screen.
Oh my God. Wow.
Thank
we
you,
got that out of the way.
Thank you, random person.
You don't have to send that again. What the fuck?
So whoever sent that, we think you sent the wrong thing. You might want that back.
I don't know. I still don't really know what we're talking about exactly. I think it's a lava lamp. But, and if you're not going to use it, I'll take it for sure.
We know.
Oh, I'm not going to use it.
I'll come. I'll come and pick it up.
You'll come and pick it up. You're just going
to come and pick it up.
Pick that up.
I'm just gonna come by real quick. It won't take long. I come fast, and then I just get out.
Stop. Get the fuck out. Oh my God.
Dude.
What a surprise.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we got this far? That we're being incentivized to start an OnlyFans.
Next time I'll make Andrew.
He uses
open.
those.
I should have. We should have had Andrew open this, but sadly he was not within reach.
My God.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking one for the team, Ed, this time around. But,
Good
I would have opened that thing up and reviewed it as a.
I could just send it. It probably wouldn't cost. I actually did a giveaway recently, and I shipped some things, and it wasn't too expensive. So maybe whatever we get next, I'll ship it to Andrew.
Okay.
And,
okay.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it fair.
Whatever interesting thing show up. Good Lord, man, that was a surprise. I expected bad, but I don't know if I expected that bad. That was pretty. That's great.
Really.
Somebody got us. They got us good.
Guys, this was a really good experience.
Yeah.
I want to do another one.
Me too.
Another unboxing? Are you sure? Are you sure?
After this one,
podcast.
You want that?
hey,
You want that heat?